Money Flow, How to Attract Wealth Effortlessly by Imperium Audiobooks. Introduction, The Invisible Stream of Abundance. There's a rhythm beneath life's noise, a current that moves unseen, shaping who rises, who struggles, and who stays stuck in middle. Some call it luck, others call it timing. But those who've studied it long enough know its true name, money flow. Money doesn't just move, it responds. It listens. It reacts. It aligns with the energy you bring to the world. You've felt it before, those moments when opportunities seem to fall into place effortlessly, when ideas connect and the right people show up at the right time. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. That's you being in flow. This book isn't about working harder or chasing the next hustle trend. It's about rewiring your energy so that wealth starts chasing you. Because here's the truth most people never learn. Wealth is not a number, it's a frequency. And when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are tuned to that frequency, money begins to find its way into your life with a kind of ease that logic alone can't explain. But before that flow begins, you must first understand what's blocking it. Every self-doubt, every fear of not enough, every story you've been told about struggle, all of it acts like a dam. It slows your current, keeps you trapped in cycles of survival instead of expansion. So, here's what this audiobook promises you. By the time you finish, you will understand not only how to earn more, but how to attract more. You'll see how to sync your energy, mindset, and habits into a natural current of prosperity, a current that moves toward you, through you and for you. You'll stop forcing outcomes and start allowing them. You'll stop asking, how do I get rich? And begin asking, how do I flow with abundance? Because the most magnetic people in the world don't chase, they radiate. Their energy carries certainty, calm, and confidence. They master the quiet science of being open, of letting money and opportunity arrive without resistance. This is the essence of effortless wealth. Not struggle, not stress, but sync. Not chasing more, but allowing more. And that's exactly what you're about to master. In this audiobook, we'll uncover the hidden emotional patterns that push wealth away, the subtle mindset shifts that pull opportunity closer, the routines, thoughts, and internal rewiring that make abundance feel natural, not forced. This is not a fantasy. It's not some abstract motivational idea. It's grounded in the psychology of attention, energy, and self-worth, the very foundations of how reality organizes around your focus. You'll learn to see money as a living current, not as paper, not as numbers, but as energy in motion. And once you learn to align with it, you'll realize wealth was never about luck. It was about flow. So take a deep breath. Let go of the belief that money only comes through pain. This book is your reset. You're re-entering into the world where abundance isn't chased, it's attracted. By the end, you'll know how to step into that frequency and live in it, not for moments, but for life. Welcome to Money Flow, How to Attract Wealth Effortlessly. Let's unlock the rhythm of prosperity that's been waiting for you all along. Chapter 1, The Energy of Money, Why Wealth Responds to Emotion. Money is not paper. It's not coins. It's not even the numbers in your bank app. Money is energy. It's the reflection of what you believe, how you feel, and how confidently you move through life. It's the energetic mirror of your self-worth, amplifying whatever frequency you broadcast into the world. That's why some people seem to attract opportunities with effortless grace, while others grind endlessly yet never move forward. The difference isn't just education or luck. It's emotional frequency. Money doesn't flow to neediness. It flows to certainty. It moves toward calmness, clarity, and confidence, not desperation. You probably experienced it before. The month where everything felt aligned and suddenly clients appeared, jobs opened up, ideas clicked. Then another time, you were worried, tense, doubting yourself, and everything seemed to go wrong. That's not random. That's energetic communication. You're always in conversation with life, and money is one of the languages it uses to respond. The emotional blueprint of abundance. Every emotion you hold carries a vibration. Gratitude vibrates higher than fear. Confidence vibrates higher than anxiety. And money, being energy, responds to those vibrations. When you're anxious about bills, when you think, I don't have enough, that emotion repels wealth. It pushes opportunities away because your focus is tuned to lack. The universe doesn't hear your words. It reads your energy. So when you say, I want more money, but you feel worried, the signal being sent isn't, I want abundance. It's, I lack abundance. And life simply mirrors that back. It's not magic, it's alignment. To change your financial situation, you must first shift the emotional state you live in daily. Ask yourself, what energy am I broadcasting about money? Do you see money as something stressful, a source of fear and pressure? Or do you see it as a friendly current that flows freely through your life? Because whatever story you choose becomes your emotional code, and your emotional code determines your results. Money loves clarity. Money is like water. It flows where there's direction and purpose. When you don't know what you want, when you're unclear about your goals, your money flow becomes scattered. Clarity tells energy where to go. Take a moment and ask, if more money came into my life today, would I know exactly what to do with it? If the answer is uncertain, then your flow is uncertain too. You don't need to have a perfect plan, just clear intention. Clarity is magnetic. It communicates safety, order, and readiness. So instead of constantly saying, I want more money, try saying, I'm open to financial flow for my highest purpose. You'll feel the difference immediately. The tension drops, the energy relaxes, and suddenly things start aligning. The emotional economy. Think of your emotions as currency. Every day, you're either investing in abundance or spending your energy on lack. When you worry, you're investing emotional capital into fear. When you complain, you're compounding scarcity. But when you express gratitude, when you think, I already have so much working for me, you're investing in expansion. That's emotional economics. The invisible accounting that dictates how money behaves around you. Start treating gratitude like a daily deposit. Start paying yourself an appreciation before expecting the world to pay you in cash. You'll be amazed at how fast your outer world rearranges once your inner world stops vibrating lack. Your emotional set point. Every person is what I call an emotional set point, the default mood they return to after the highs and lows. Some people default to calm, others to stress. If your emotional set point is anxiety, your money flow will always feel inconsistent. You might receive bursts of opportunity, but they'll slip away because your energy can't sustain the frequency of abundance. Wealth likes stability. It likes confidence. So your first job in attracting money isn't to chase new income streams. It's to stabilize your emotional vibration. That's why wealthy people often seem unbothered. Even during crisis, they've trained their nervous system to stay centered. Their calmness becomes a magnet, not because they're lucky, but because calmness is power. When you stay calm, you make better choices. You attract better outcomes. You allow flow to keep moving. Emotional discipline is financial discipline, from struggle to flow. Imagine your emotions as a river. When you fight it, when you resist a moment, worry, or complain, you create turbulence. The water splashes and loses direction. But when you trust the current, when you breathe and flow, you move faster with less effort. The same is true for money. You don't attract wealth by fighting scarcity. You attract it by aligning your state with abundance. So instead of saying, I need make more, try saying, I'm allowing more. Instead of forcing every move, ask, where's energy guiding me? When you shift from force to flow, you unlock a new level of peace, and prosperity follows peace every time. Practical flow alignments. Here's how to start rewiring your emotional connection to money right now. Morning alignment. Before touching your phone, take a minute to breathe and say, today, money flows to me easily. I am calm, open, and guided. This sets your energetic tone, your frequency of allowance. Emotional check-ins. Every few hours, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? If it's worry or frustration, breathe, smile, and reset. Don't let low vibration emotions manage your wallet. Gratitude expansion. List 5 things you already have that bring comfort or joy. This rewires your nervous system for abundance instead of survival. Detach from outcomes. Don't chase results. Focus on alignment. The less you pressure the process, the faster the results come. The magnetic state. Money loves movement, but not panic. It moves toward peace, purpose, and people who radiate trust. So your task is not to chase money. It's to become magnetic to it. Be the calm in the chaos. Be the person who trusts timing, who works from peace, not panic. That kind of energy draws wealth like gravity. Because abundance isn't something you achieve. It's something you allow. You don't need to force it. You just need to stop resisting it. Every emotion of calm, gratitude, and confidence tells the universe, I'm ready for more. And the universe always delivers to those who are ready. Money is not your master. It's your mirror. Change your emotion and you change your income. Shift your energy and you shift your opportunities. Because in the end, wealth isn't about chasing dollars. It's about learning the art of emotional flow. The calmest minds attract the strongest currents. And once you become that kind of person, wealth stops being a pursuit and starts becoming your natural state. Chapter 2. Breaking the Scarcity Code. Rewiring your beliefs for overflow. Scarcity doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. Long before you ever check the balance or miss a payment, there was a quiet belief planted deep inside you that there isn't enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunity. And slowly, that belief became your emotional default, your hidden operating system. Most people never question it. They just live inside it, unknowingly building a life that mirrors limitation. But what if I told you that scarcity is not reality? It's conditioning, and that you can rewire it? Because you can. And when you do, your world begins to shift in ways that logic can't explain. Let's start where scarcity begins, with fear. 1. The fear of never enough. Scarcity is fear in disguise. It's a quiet anxiety that whispers, if I don't hold on tight, I'll lose everything. That fear creates tension, and tension blocks flow. When you fear loss, you close your hands. And when your hands are closed, nothing new can enter. Think about the moments when you've been stressed about money, how your body tightens, your breathing shortens, your thoughts spiral. That physical reaction is resistance. You've moved from flow to fight. But money doesn't flow into fear. It flows into trust. Scarcity says, there isn't enough to go around. Abundance says, there's more than enough and it's still coming. And here's the irony. The moment you stop grasping for money is the moment you finally allow it to reach you. 2. The scarcity programming we inherited. Scarcity isn't something you created. It was taught to you. Think back. Maybe you heard your parents argue about bills. Maybe you saw people around you work hard their whole lives, yet never get ahead. Maybe you were told that wanting wealth was greedy, or that money doesn't grow on trees. Every one of those moments left an imprint. They formed your subconscious money map, the invisible beliefs that now drive your financial reality. If your parents lived in constant survival mode, your nervous system learned that money equals stress. If you were told that rich people were selfish, you subconsciously decided that being wealthy meant being unlikable. So you push wealth away, not consciously, but emotionally. It's not your fault, but it is now your responsibility to rewrite that code. Because until you reprogram the old beliefs, no amount of hustle will outwork your subconscious. 3. The belief loop. Every belief creates an emotion. Every emotion drives an action. Every action creates a result, which then reinforces the original belief. This is a belief loop. For example, you believe money is hard to get. You feel stressed and doubtful. You take hesitant or desperate actions. You experience scarcity. And that outcome reinforces, see, I was right. Money is hard to get. The loop keeps repeating until you intervene, until you consciously plant a new belief. The key is to shift from, I'll believe it when I see it, to, I'll see it when I believe it. Belief must come first. For reprogramming the scarcity code, here's the truth. Your mind is programmable. Every story of limitation you've carried can be rewritten with enough awareness and repetition. Here's how to begin. Step 1. Identify the limiting story. Ask yourself, what did I learn about money growing up? What emotions do I feel when I think about wealth? Write down every fear, every phrase, every painful association. Bring it into the light, because what you can see, you can change. Step 2. Challenge the narrative. Every time your mind says, I can't afford that, counter with, how can I create the means to afford it? Shift from limitation to possibility. Language is a code, and you reprogram it by changing the way you speak. Step 3. Create abundance anchors. Anchor new beliefs with physical reminders. Put affirmations on your mirror, your phone wallpaper, your workspace. Money flows freely and easily into my life. There's always enough. I am worthy of overflow. Repeat until your subconscious accepts it as truth. Step 4. Celebrate small abundance. Every time you receive a discount, a free coffee, an unexpected opportunity, pause and say, "Thank you, abundance." That gratitude amplifies the vibration of receiving. The more you celebrate, the more your brain associates money with joy instead of fear. 5. Scarcity in disguise. Sometimes scarcity hides behind habits that look smart but are rooted in fear. Saving obsessively but never allowing yourself to enjoy anything. Working nonstop because you fear that rest will cost you progress. Undercharging for your work because you're afraid people won't pay. Those actions may appear responsible, but they're driven by a scarcity vibration, a belief in lack. True abundance means you can save and enjoy. You can work and rest. You can give and receive. Balance is the sign of healed beliefs. 6. The overflow mindset. When you rewire your scarcity code, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. Suddenly, the world feels generous. You stop thinking, "I hope this works out," and start thinking, "Of course it will. I'm in flow." That doesn't mean you stop working. It means your work is no longer rooted in fear. You're creating from joy, from purpose, from expansion. Overflow happens when you no longer operate from survival, but from service. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I get that multiplies value for everyone involved?" And ironically, that's when money begins pouring in, because energy flows to contribution. 7. Daily rewiring rituals. To anchor the overflow mindset, build small, consistent habits that feed abundance. Morning money meditation. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Imagine golden light flowing through your body. Say, "I am open to the flow of wealth. I trust money to come and go easily." Evening gratitude reset. Before sleeping, name 3 ways abundance showed up today, even small ones. This trains your subconscious to look for wealth instead of lack. Speak in overflow. Replace "I can't afford it" with "it's not a priority right now." Replace "money is hard" with "money finds me when I'm aligned." Detach from scarcity conversations. Don't dwell in complaints or gossip about struggle. Energy is contagious. Protect yours like currency. 8. Living beyond lack. Once you break the scarcity code, something magical happens. You stop comparing. You stop chasing. You stop fearing. You become enough. And from that enoughness, you create overflow. You'll start to notice the subtle miracles, the perfect timing, the sudden opportunities, the unexpected deposits. But most importantly, you'll notice peace, the kind of peace that says, "Even if I have less today, I'm still abundant, because I know who I am and I know what flows toward me." That is emotional wealth. That is energetic freedom. 9. The new code, worthiness. At the root of every scarcity pattern lies one question: am I worthy of more? And the answer, always, unequivocally, is yes. You were born worthy. You don't earn worthiness through work, titles, or validation. You simply remember it. When you live as if you're already enough, you align with the energy of abundance. And when you align with abundance, money has no choice but to follow. So stop hustling for your worth. Start allowing your worth to guide your wealth. Because in the end, wealth doesn't begin with what you do. It begins with what you believe. Your new mantra: there is no shortage. There is only flow. I am open. I am ready. I am enough. Repeat it. Live it. Because that's how you break the scarcity code. Not by chasing money, but by becoming the frequency of abundance itself. Chapter 3. Becoming a magnet, the science of energetic attraction. There's a point in life where you stop chasing and start attracting. It's not magic. It's mastery of energy, emotion, and alignment. Because the truth is, everything is energy. Money, opportunities, people, even thoughts. They all vibrate at certain frequencies. And the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So if you're constantly striving, worrying, doubting, you'll attract more experiences that match that vibration. But when you embody peace, gratitude, confidence, and purpose, the world rearranges itself around you. This is what I call magnetic energy. It's not about doing more. It's about becoming more. Let's break down how to activate that magnetic frequency within you, the one that draws wealth, success, and peace naturally, without force. 1. The law of resonance. You don't attract what you want. There's a common misunderstanding about attraction. People think it's about wishing or visualizing hard enough. But attraction isn't about force. It's about resonance. If your internal state, your energy, doesn't match your external desire, you'll create resistance instead of flow. You might say, I want to be rich. But if your vibration says, I'm scared, I'm unworthy, I'm struggling, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. It's like tuning a radio to 90.1 and expecting to hear the broadcast from 101.5. You're close, but not aligned. The universe doesn't hear your words. It reads your energy. So your goal isn't to chase abundance. Your goal is to match it. You do that by becoming emotionally, mentally, and spiritually aligned with what abundance feels like before it physically appears. 2. Emotion, the currency of the universe. Emotion is energy in motion. It's the most powerful signal you emit. Every emotion has a frequency. Gratitude vibrates high. Fear vibrates low. Joy attracts expansion. Worry contracts your field. That's why gratitude is the fastest way to shift your vibration. When you genuinely feel thankful for what you already have, your breath, your home, your growth, you elevate your emotional frequency, and the universe responds instantly, mirroring that energy with experiences that match. Here's the secret. You don't wait for blessings to feel grateful. You feel grateful and blessings appear. It's emotional alchemy, turning ordinary moments into magnets for miracles. 3. Energy hygiene, protecting your frequency. Think of your energy as your most valuable asset. You wouldn't let someone drain your bank account. So why let them drain your vibration? Energy hygiene means guarding your emotional space the same way you guard your finances. That means limiting gossip and negative conversations, reducing exposure to fear-driven media, surrounding yourself with people who inspire expansion, not survival, taking moments of silence to reset your nervous system. The goal is simple. Keep your energetic field clean. Because when your energy is cluttered with stress, fear, and comparison, it's like static on a radio. You can't clearly tune into abundance. Magnetism requires clarity, and clarity comes from peace. 4. The magnetic mindset shift. Magnetism begins when you stop asking, why isn't it happening yet? And start affirming it's already happening. I'm just aligning with it. This shift from doubt to faith changes everything. It moves you from desperation, chasing, to expectation, attracting. Desperation says, I need this to happen or I'll fail. Expectation says, it's already mine. I'm aligning with it in perfect timing. That belief transforms your posture, your tone, your energy. It softens your nervous system and signals the universe that you are ready to receive. Remember, you don't manifest what you chase. You manifest what you expect. 5. The physics of flow, how energy actually moves. Every time you set an intention, you send a pulse of energy into the field. That pulse begins to gather matter, people, ideas, opportunities that match its vibration. But here's the key. Energy moves fastest through neutrality. When you're anxious, you slow the process down because resistance builds in your field. But when you're calm, detached, and trusting, energy flows freely. That's why letting go is so powerful. It's not giving up. It's releasing control so that higher alignment can unfold. Water doesn't force its way down the river. It flows effortlessly around obstacles. That's how abundance works too. 6. Embodying the energy you want. Your body is your first magnet. The way you breathe, walk, and speak all emit signals. When you want to attract wealth, confidence, and peace, embody those qualities now. Here's how. Breathe abundance. Slow, full breath signals safety to your nervous system. Abundance thrives in calm. Move with purpose. Every step you take, imagine you're walking in overflow. This reprograms your subconscious confidence. Speak in power. Replace weak language like I hope or I wish with I am and I trust. Dress in alignment. Present yourself as the person you're becoming, not the one you're escaping. Your external posture influences your internal state. The more you embody abundance, the faster it reflects back to you. 7. Detachment, the secret ingredient. The hardest part of attraction isn't believing it's possible. It's letting go of when and how. True magnetism requires surrender. You set the intention, you align your energy, and then you release attachment to the outcome. You stop obsessively checking if it's working. You stop asking when it'll happen. You just trust. Because obsession vibrates as lack. It's a sign that you don't believe it's coming. But detachment vibrates as certainty, and certainty is magnetic. That's why the things you stop chasing often find you. 8. The science of the heart field. Science now confirms what mystics have known for centuries. The heart emits an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain. That means your feelings, not your thoughts, are your true broadcast signal. When your heart and mind align, your signal becomes coherent. That coherence draws experiences into your life that match the emotion you hold. So if you want to attract abundance, practice feeling it now. Close your eyes. Visualize yourself already living in overflow, bills paid, purpose fulfilled, peace within. Let your body feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude. Hold that vibration for as long as you can. That's your magnet activated. 9. Aligning action with energy. Attraction doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you take inspired action. Forced action comes from fear. Inspired action comes from flow. You'll know the difference because inspired action feels exciting, effortless, natural. It might come as a sudden idea, a random urge, a feeling that says, try this. That's your intuition, the voice of your magnetic field guiding you. Follow it without overthinking. When you act from that space, you're cooperating with universal intelligence, and doors open that logic could never predict. 10. The daily magnetic routine. If you want to live in constant alignment, practice these daily rituals. Morning frequency tune-up. Upon waking, take 3 deep breaths and say, today, I vibrate at the frequency of abundance. Everything I need is already on its way. Midday grounding break. Pause for 2 minutes. Place your hand on your heart. Ask yourself, what energy am I broadcasting right now? If it's worry, shift it. If it's gratitude, amplify it. Evening visualization. Close your eyes before sleep. Picture your life flowing effortlessly. Wealth arriving, opportunities aligning, peace surrounding you. Feel the emotion as if it's already true. These micro practices tune your field daily, like charging your inner magnet. 11. Magnetic detours when things don't go as planned. Sometimes, when you set an intention, life temporarily moves in the opposite direction. You lose something. You face delays. You hit emotional turbulence. That doesn't mean it's not working. It means energy is rearranging. The universe removes misaligned things to make space for what matches your vibration. What feels like rejection is often redirection. Trust the detour. Your magnet is still active. It's just recalibrating your path. 12. The frequency of faith. Faith is the ultimate magnet. It's a vibration that says, even when I can't see it, I know it's unfolding. Faith holds a vibration steady when your mind wavers. It bridges the invisible to the visible. When you live in faith, you don't force, you flow. You don't beg, you align. You don't doubt, you know. That knowing is what bends reality in your favor. 13. The magnetic state of being. Eventually, you reach a point where attraction isn't something you do. It's who you are. You walk into rooms and people feel your peace. Opportunities come without effort. Money flows in unexpected ways. Because your energy radiates certainty, worthiness, and joy. You become the frequency of abundance itself. And once you reach that point, there's no going back, because you've experienced the truth. The world isn't happening to you. It's responding to you. 14. Your new magnetic affirmations. Repeat these daily to charge your field. Herb. I am magnetic to wealth, peace, and opportunity. What I desire is already on its way to me. I attract effortlessly by being authentically myself. My energy speaks louder than my words. Everything I want is attracted to the calm, confident version of me. 15. The essence of magnetism. Magnetism is not about control. It's about coherence between your heart, your thoughts, and your actions. When all three move in harmony, you become unstoppable. You stop chasing validation. You stop worrying about timing. You start living in a state of inner certainty that bends reality toward your peace. Because the real secret to attraction isn't found in effort, it's found in alignment. Final thought, you are not meant to chase what's yours. You are meant to align with it, to vibrate so clearly, so confidently, that the universe has no choice but to match your frequency. So stand tall, breathe deeply, smile knowingly, because from this moment forward, you are the magnet, and everything you seek is already seeking you. Chapter 4. The Wealth Frequency. Tuning your mind to the signal of prosperity. There's a silent signal constantly broadcasting all around you, an invisible frequency that only a few ever learn to tune into. You can't hear it with your ears. You feel it. It's in the rhythm of your thoughts, the steadiness of your emotions, and the quality of your self-belief. That frequency is called wealth. And here's the truth. Everyone is tuned into something. Some are dialed into fear, others into survival, others into abundance. The world you live in, the people you meet, the opportunities that appear, all mirror the station your mind is tuned to. If your inner frequency says, I always struggle, you'll keep meeting struggle. If it says, money flows easily to me, you'll start attracting paths, people, and ideas that make that true. Wealth isn't about being lucky. It's about being in tune. 1. Your mind is a receiver. Think of your brain as a high-powered receiver and transmitter. Every thought you think sends a signal into the universe. That signal attracts experiences that vibrate at the same level. When your mind constantly broadcasts scarcity, worrying about bills, debt, or lack, the frequency you send out draws more of that into your life. Not because you're cursed, but because your thoughts literally organize your reality. But when you shift that inner broadcast of abundance, when you expect money to flow, when you see opportunities everywhere, when you trust that things will work out, the universe matches that signal too. You start noticing small wins, a new client, a chance encounter, a random idea that turns profitable. That's not coincidence. That's frequency alignment. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive is an effort. It's what they're tuned to. 2. The hidden power of inner language. You might not notice it, but every word you speak about money sends a vibration. When you say, I can't afford that, you're not describing a situation. You're commanding your subconscious mind to reinforce limitation. But when you reframe it to, I choose not to buy that right now, you signal control, not lack. The subconscious doesn't understand jokes, sarcasm, or exaggeration. It simply obeys the emotional meaning behind your words. So every time you declare struggle, it tunes your inner frequency lower. Every time you declare ease, gratitude, or faith, it tunes you higher. If you want to attract wealth, your language must speak wealth. Change your words, and you change your world. 3. Emotional static, the noise that blocks wealth. Imagine trying to tune a radio in the middle of static. You can hear the song faintly, but it keeps cutting out. That's what happens when your emotions are filled with anxiety, resentment, or fear. The signal of wealth becomes distorted. You might work hard, take risks, but the results never seem to match your effort. Why? Because the universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to vibration. Negative emotion doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means you're temporarily off frequency. And the fastest way to retune is through emotional regulation, breathing, grounding, and gratitude. When you calm your nervous system, you clear static. And when you clear static, clarity and opportunity return. 4. The science of retuning your mind. Here's where neuroscience and spirituality meet. Your brain is built to reinforce patterns. It fires and wires based on repetition. If you spend years thinking, money is hard to get, Your brain has literally created neural pathways that make that belief feel true. To rewire it, you must introduce new patterns with feeling. Affirmations alone aren't enough unless you feel their truth. When you say, "Money flows easily to me," you must feel the emotion of ease as you say it. That emotional charge is what convinces the subconscious to accept the new signal. Repeat this enough times, with emotion, not just words, and your brain retunes itself. Suddenly, your behaviors, focus, and intuition align with wealth instead of scarcity. 5. The emotional signature wealth. Every person who attracts and keeps wealth has a certain emotional signature: calm confidence. They don't panic when things dip. They don't over-celebrate when things rise. They operate from grounded certainty. This emotional stability is their signal. The universe trusts consistency. If your energy keeps swinging between belief and doubt, your results will swing too. To stay tuned to wealth, you must stabilize your emotional field. That means you don't let fear run your finances or guilt control your growth. You operate from trust, because trust radiates a signal of abundance. 6. Wealth isn't chased, it's allowed. When you chase something, you're broadcasting lack. You're saying, "I don't have it yet," and that frequency keeps it away. But when you allow wealth, when you move with certainty, joy, and gratitude, you create a gravitational pull. Money begins to show up through unexpected channels. A referral, an investment return, a random idea that takes off. You stop asking how and start affirming, "Of course. Of course I'll find a way. Of course opportunities will open. Of course the right people will appear." That, of course, energy is faith, and faith is a direct frequency of wealth. 7. The wealth routine daily tuning practices. Here's how to keep your signal clear every day. Morning alignment, 5 minutes. Before checking your phone, breathe deeply and say, "Today I tune into the frequency of wealth, peace, and flow." Visualize golden light expanding around you. Gratitude pulse anytime. Whenever you spend money on food, bills, gas, say silently, "I'm grateful for the flow of money through my life." This gratitude shifts your vibration from loss to flow. Evening retune. Reflect on 3 moments of abundance you experienced. A kind gesture, a new idea, even a moment of laughter. Abundance isn't just money, it's energy. Recognize it everywhere. Do these daily, and you'll condition your mind to naturally stay tuned to prosperity. 8. The frequency of giving. Here's one of life's paradoxes. The more freely you give, the faster abundance returns. Not because of charity or obligation, but because giving is a frequency of trust. When you give, you're telling the universe, "I have enough to share." That signal multiplies. The key is to give from joy, not fear. If you give out of guilt, you lower your vibration. But when you give from overflow, you amplify your signal of abundance. Start small, tip more generously, help someone without expecting anything, share knowledge. Every act sends ripples through the energetic field, and they always come back multiplied. 9. The wealth calibration test. Pause and ask yourself right now, what's my default frequency when I think about money? Do I feel tension in my chest? Do I feel fear, guilt, or unworthiness? Or do I feel calm, empowered, expectant? That emotional answer reveals your true frequency. If it's heavy, breathe, release. Decide right now that wealth is no longer something to fear, but something to partner with. You are allowed to be wealthy and peaceful. You are allowed to succeed without struggle. You are allowed to attract without effort. These permissions change your frequency more than any affirmation ever could. 10. The flow formula. Here's the formula for effortless attraction. Energy plus emotion plus expectation equals manifestation. Your energy is your vibration. How calm and confident you feel. Your emotion adds charge. Gratitude and excitement amplify your signal. Your expectation seals it. Faith keeps your frequency stable. When those 3 align, you enter the wealth frequency, where things click, doors open, and success accelerates. You stop pushing. You start pulling. You stop hoping. You start knowing. 11. Reprogramming your financial identity. Your outer wealth will never rise higher than your inner identity allows. If deep down you believe, "I'm not the type to be rich," Your subconscious will find ways to sabotage abundance, missed calls, poor timing, indecision. To shift that, you must rewrite your identity. Start saying, I am a magnet for wealth because I operate in integrity, creativity, and peace. Then prove it through small actions that align with that belief. Save consciously. Spend joyfully. Invest wisely. Each action becomes a vote for your new frequency. 12. Living in wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness isn't about having millions. It's about knowing you're always supported. It's walking into every situation, expecting things to work in your favor. It's trusting that when one door closes, a better one opens. It's moving through life with calm confidence, not frantic effort. People will notice the difference. You'll speak slower, smile more, worry less. That's the power of being tuned in. When you carry wealth consciousness, money follows your energy, not the other way around. 13. Final recalibration. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Imagine tuning a dial from chaos to clarity, from fear to faith, from scarcity to abundance. Feel your entire being hum at a higher vibration, steady, powerful, peaceful. You've just tuned into the frequency that creates worlds, the wealth frequency. From this moment on, remind yourself daily, I am wealth in motion. Money flows to me effortlessly through peace, purpose, and trust. You don't need to chase it anymore. You're already broadcasting the signal. And everything aligned with wealth, opportunity, success, and freedom is already finding its way to you. Chapter 5. The flow of action, when to push, when to surrender. Every dream begins with a spark, a vision of something better, greater, freer. But between the dream and its realization lies a delicate dance that very few ever master. The balance between action and surrender. Most people live on one extreme. Some push endlessly, grinding, forcing, trying to control every variable, as if life were a machine to be hacked. Others float through life hoping things will somehow work out, waiting for signs but taking no real steps forward. Both miss the secret. True success, true flow, happens when you learn to act with intention and release with trust, when to move and when to allow, when to push and when to pause. That's the flow of action, the rhythm that turns struggle into synchronicity and ambition into effortless achievement. 1. The myth of constant hustle. We've been conditioned to believe that success comes only through unrelenting grind. We're told, work harder than everyone else, sleep later, outperform. And yes, effort matters. Discipline builds character. But when effort turns into obsession, when your nervous system is constantly on high alert, your energy becomes misaligned. You begin to push from fear, not faith, from lack, not flow. You can't receive clearly when your energy screams desperation. You can't attract abundance when you're radiating exhaustion. The universe doesn't reward burnout. It rewards alignment. There's a difference between productive effort and panic motion. The first creates momentum. The second creates chaos. Ask yourself often, am I moving from inspiration or insecurity? If it's insecurity, pause. If it's inspiration, proceed. 2. The physics of flow. Nature doesn't rush, yet everything gets done. The ocean doesn't chase waves, it becomes them. Rivers don't argue with gravity, they move with it. Flow is a universal law, and wealth responds to it. When you force things, you create friction. When you trust timing, you create acceleration. Flow is not laziness. It's intelligent efficiency. It's a state where your energy, mindset, and action all point in one direction, effortlessly. And here's the paradox. You reach that state not by pushing harder, but by listening deeper, listening to your intuition, listening to the rhythm of timing, listening to the subtle signals life gives you, saying not yet or move now. The more attuned you become, the more you realize that success is less about fighting the current and more about swimming with it. 3. The energy behind action. Every action carries energy. 2 people can take the same step, start a business, make a call, send an email, yet get completely different results. Why? Because one acted from inspiration, the other from desperation. Action born from peace attracts cooperation. Action born from fear attracts resistance. When your heart and your task are aligned, things unfold faster. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. Calls get returned. Opportunities show up. But when you act in panic, your energy repels support. You might still achieve results, but at a cost. Fatigue, frustration, burnout. Your outer world always mirrors your inner world. If your inner world is calm, your outer efforts bear fruit. 4. Inspired action versus forced action. There's a distinct difference between the two. Forced action comes from fear or pressure, feels heavy or rushed, creates anxiety and exhaustion, often leads to short-term results that fade. Inspired action comes from clarity or intuition, feels light, natural, almost effortless, creates excitement, curiosity, and peace, leads to long-term momentum and flow. You know you're in inspired action when time disappears. You lose yourself in what you're doing. Ideas come easily. Synchronicities start appearing. That's the zone where your energy matches the universe's rhythm. So, instead of asking, what should I do next? Start asking, what feels aligned right now? Because the most powerful actions are often guided, not forced. 5. The power of strategic rest. Rest isn't weakness. It's recalibration. Even the greatest athletes understand the necessity of recovery. Muscles grow between workouts, not during them. The same is true for your goals. When you pause intentionally, your subconscious integrates what you've learned. Ideas percolate. New insights emerge. Silence isn't stagnation. It's space for inspiration. The mind that never stops moving can't hear guidance. Rest allows you to hear what your next step should really be. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or burnout, the answer might not be to push harder. It might be to rest deeper. Your pause could be the preparation for your next breakthrough. 6. The surrender paradox. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood concepts in success. People think it means giving up. It doesn't. It means letting go of resistance. It's saying, I've done my part. Now I trust life to do its part. Surrender doesn't mean you stop working. It means you stop worrying. It's that moment after you've done everything you can, and instead of forcing the outcome, you release it with calm confidence. This paradox is what makes the highest performers different. They know when to let go. They trust timing. They understand that peace, not pressure, is the secret accelerator. When you surrender, you open space for the universe to deliver in ways you couldn't have planned. 7. The flow check. Am I forcing or flowing? Whenever you feel resistance, pause and ask yourself, am I chasing something I should be attracting? Am I acting from fear or faith? Am I working with life or against it? If your energy feels tight, rushed, anxious, step back. Take a breath. Realign. Remember, you can't receive from a clenched fist. You must relax into trust to open your hands to the flow. Flow requires confidence that what's meant for you cannot miss you, and what's not meant for you cannot stay. 8. The 3 modes of aligned effort. Preparation. Quiet effort. The stage where you learn, plan, and strengthen your foundation. Don't mistake silence for stagnation. Preparation is invisible growth. Execution. Focused effort. The phase of consistent action. Here, energy meets movement. This is where flow begins to reward consistency. Surrender. Conscious release. After you've given your best, you hand over control, trusting that the ripple will return as a wave. Every great outcome passes through these 3 modes. Miss one, and the rhythm breaks. Master all 3, and success flows naturally. 9. The emotional compass. Your emotions are the most accurate feedback tool you'll ever have. When you're off track, you feel tension. When you're aligned, you feel ease. Don't ignore that inner nudge. When things feel forced, it's often the universe whispering, this isn't it, not yet. But when something feels right, even if it's uncertain, your energy expands. That expansion is your signal to act. That contraction is your signal to pause. Follow that compass, and you'll always be in flow. 10. The art of timing. Timing is everything, but most people ruin it by rushing. They plant seeds and dig them up daily to check if they've grown. That's not faith. That's fear disguised as productivity. Trust the season you're in. Winter doesn't mean failure. It means gestation. Spring doesn't mean struggle. It means blooming. Summer means harvest. The visible result of invisible patience. When you respect divine timing, you realize that every delay is a form of protection or preparation. You'll stop asking, why is it taking so long? And start saying, I'm being refined. 11. How to balance action and allowing. Here's the formula. Decide clearly. Know what you want and declare it with conviction. Act courageously. Take consistent, aligned steps in that direction. Release gracefully. Don't cling to outcomes. Allow them to unfold. Receive openly. Stay alert for opportunities and signs. When you do this, life begins to co-create with you. You're no longer the only one rowing. The current starts helping. That's the moment where hard work transforms into right work. 12. Living in effortless momentum. The more you practice this rhythm, the more your life begins to feel light. Opportunities seem to find you. People show up at the perfect time. Things that used to feel like uphill climbs become effortless glides. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence. You've learned how to align your doing with your being. Effort without alignment exhausts. Effort with alignment expands. That's how high performers create so much impact with seemingly little struggle. They've mastered the art of effortless momentum. 13. Flow mantras for daily use. Water wave. I act from peace, not pressure. Water wave. I trust divine timing. Nothing meant for me will pass me. Water wave. My rest is productive. My effort is intentional. Water wave. When I move, the universe moves with me. Water wave. I am always in the perfect place, doing the perfect thing at the perfect time. Repeat them until they become your truth. 14. The real reward of flow. The goal isn't just wealth or success. It's inner ease. Because once you find that flow, life stops being a battlefield and starts being a dance. You no longer fight your way to abundance. You flow your way into it. Your work becomes joy. Your discipline becomes devotion. Your rest becomes wisdom. And money? It simply becomes a reflection of your alignment. Because the universe always pays those who move with faith, grace, and flow. Final thought. Push when inspired. Pause when uncertain. Surrender when complete. The rhythm of wealth is not chaos. It's harmony. Once you learn to hear it, to trust it, to move with it, you'll never struggle the same way again. Because you'll have discovered the ultimate truth. In the flow of aligned action, effort turns at ease, and success becomes inevitable. Chapter 6. The frequency of faith, trusting the invisible path to abundance. There comes a point on every journey where logic ends, and faith begins, where you've done everything right, made the calls, studied the craft, stayed consistent, yet things don't seem to move. You start questioning, am I wasting time? Did I make a mistake? Maybe this dream isn't meant for me? It's in that silence, that gap between effort and evidence, that faith is forged. Not when everything is working, but when nothing seems to be. The truth is, abundance isn't only built through strategy. It's sustained through frequency. And that frequency is called faith. 1. The invisible blueprint. Before a skyscraper touches the sky, it first exists as an invisible idea, drawn in silence, planned in detail, unseen by the world. Faith works the same way. Every dream has an invisible blueprint, a stage where you can't see results, yet everything's aligning in the background. But here's the challenge. The human mind hates the unseen. We crave proof, validation, signs that it's working. And when we don't see it, we start doubting. That's where most people quit, not because it failed, but because it hadn't manifested yet. Faith means believing before you have evidence. It's trusting the process even when the path is foggy. Because behind that fog, something is taking shape. And your consistency, paired with your trust, is what brings it into form. 2. The science of belief. Faith isn't blind, it's energetic science. Your brain and emotions emit frequencies. Fear sends one signal. Faith sends another. When you believe something deeply, your thoughts, actions, and energy align with that belief. That alignment changes what you notice, attracts people who match your vibration, and opens doors that fear would have closed. This is why two people can do the exact same thing. One fails, one succeeds. It's not luck. It's belief. The one who believed stayed long enough for timing to mature. The one who doubted gave up just before the door opened. The greatest wealth builders, from business icons to spiritual masters, all share this trait: unshakable faith in the unseen. They trust that the invisible always precedes the visible. 3. The test of timing. Every dream will test your patience, not to frustrate you, but to form you. Faith without timing is incomplete. You must trust that delays are not denials. They're designs. Sometimes you're not waiting on the dream. The dream is waiting on you to grow strong enough to hold it. Think of it this way. If you plant a mango seed, you don't yell at it after a week for not bearing fruit. You water it, nurture it, and trust the process. You don't see the roots, but they're growing. You don't see progress, but it's happening underground. Faith means trusting that what you planted will bloom, even when the soil looks empty. 4. The illusion of control. Humans love control. We want to predict outcomes, manage timing, plan every variable. But life and wealth are built on rhythm, not rigidity. The moment you try to control everything, you move out of flow. Control comes from fear. Faith comes from surrender. Surrender doesn't mean inaction. It means confidence that you've done your part and that life will meet you halfway. You don't control the wind, but you can set the sails. You don't control when it rains, but you can prepare the soil. Faith is the art of preparation without panic. It's action without anxiety. It's that calm, quiet certainty that says, I might not see it yet, but it's already on the way. 5. The energy of expectation. Expectation is magnetic. When you wake up expecting good things, you unconsciously align your choices, tone, posture, and presence toward opportunities. You walk differently. You speak with more conviction. You see possibilities where others see problems. That shift in energy creates real-world results. It's not wishful thinking. It's neurological and spiritual alignment. Faith and expectation tune your mind to notice open doors. Doubt tunes you to notice obstacles. You attract what matches your frequency. So if you expect struggle, you'll find it. If you expect favor, you'll see it everywhere. 6. The 3 layers of faith. Faith isn't one thing. It grows in layers. 1. Faith in yourself. The first and most vital. You must believe you are capable and worthy of what you seek. You'll never rise higher than your self-belief. Remind yourself daily, I am built for this. My potential is not up for debate. If I'm called to it, I'm equipped for it. 2. Faith in the process. Things take time. The process is your refining fire, not your punishment. The waiting, the lessons, the detours, they're shaping your depth, not delaying your destiny. 3. Faith in the source. Whatever name you give it, God, universe, energy, it's the higher intelligence that governs flow. When you align with it, you stop living in resistance. You trust that what's meant for you cannot miss you. Together, these 3 form unbreakable confidence. 7. When nothing seems to work. Everyone reaches a point where nothing clicks. Calls don't go through. Projects stall. Energy dips. And in that moment, the temptation to quit becomes loud. But listen carefully. That's not the universe saying stop. That's the universe saying shift. Shift your energy. Shift your focus. Shift from panic to patience. Because often, the breakthrough is one layer beneath the breakdown. When things fall silent, it's usually because something big is being rearranged. Faith is what keeps you from interrupting the miracle. 8. Aligning emotion with vision. You can't think rich and feel broke. You can't visualize abundance while vibrating fear. Faith requires emotional agreement with your vision. That means feeling now what you want to experience later. Feeling successful before the bank balance reflects it. Feeling peace before circumstances justify it. Because emotion is energy in motion, and emotion is what instructs the universe on what to deliver next. So each day, practice this simple ritual. Visualize your ideal outcome. Feel genuine gratitude as if it already happened. Act throughout the day from that state. Do this consistently, and your life begins to reorganize itself to match that vibration. 9. Detachment, the hidden key. Faith doesn't cling, it releases. The tighter you grip an outcome, the more you push it away. Why? because desperation emits scarcity energy. True faith is calm anticipation. It's that peaceful knowing that says, I don't need to chase what's already mine. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means assurance. You can want something deeply and still stay peaceful about its timing. That's real power. 10. Faith in motion. Faith isn't passive. It's a movement. It's acting even when you're unsure. It's sending the email, launching the idea, applying for the opportunity, and doing it with belief, not fear. Faith without motion is fantasy. Motion without faith is struggle. But when faith moves, results follow. Every step you take in faith tells the universe, I'm ready. And the universe always responds to readiness. 11. Building unshakable faith. Here's how you strengthen your faith daily. Revisit past miracles. Remember the times you thought you wouldn't make it, but did. Guard your environment. Doubt is contagious. Surround yourself with expanders, not limiters. Speak faith aloud. Words shape vibration. Speak what you believe, not what you fear. Take faith walks. Step outside, breathe, and reconnect with life. Stillness amplifies trust. Feed your belief daily. Read, pray, meditate. Keep your spiritual battery charged. Faith grows through evidence of endurance. Every storm you survive becomes proof that you're guided. 12. When you can't see the way forward. Here's the truth. Sometimes faith is all you have. When plans collapse, when support disappears, when everything goes quiet, you'll have to walk blindfolded. But remember, the darkest nights always come right before sunrise. Silence always comes before transformation. Pressure always precedes expansion. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And faith is your flashlight through the fog. Keep walking, even if it's one small step at a time. Because faith doesn't always move mountains instantly. Sometimes it teaches you how to climb them. 13. The faith frequency. When you live by faith, your energy changes. You stop overreacting to delays. You stop comparing timelines. You stop doubting your worth. You start living with calm certainty. You begin to attract people, ideas, and events that align effortlessly. Faith tunes you to the frequency of flow, and flow always carries wealth with it. Because abundance doesn't come to the anxious, it comes to the assured. 14. Faith affirmations for daily power. Milky Way, I am guided, even when I can't see the way. Milky Way, delays are divine setups for bigger blessings. Milky Way, everything I need is aligning in perfect timing. Milky Way, my faith is stronger than my fear. Milky Way, I trust the unseen. It's working for me. Repeat them not until you believe them, but until they become your frequency. 15. The final lesson. Faith is not just believing in miracles. It's believing like a miracle, because every dream you've ever had was planted for a reason. And if life trusted you with the vision, it will also provide the provision. Your role is not to figure out how. It's to believe it will. So when life feels uncertain, remember, faith isn't the absence of doubt. It's a decision to move forward anyway. You'll never have all the answers, but you'll always have the guidance you need when you step in trust. Because once you align with the frequency of faith, the invisible starts working visibly, and wealth, peace, and purpose begin flowing to you and through you effortlessly. Chapter 7. Magnetic Wealth. Becoming the person money flows to. There's a shift that happens in life when you stop chasing money and start attracting it. When you no longer run after opportunities, but opportunities begin running toward you. That's not magic. That's magnetism. And magnetism isn't about luck, charm, or charisma. It's about becoming the kind of person money, success, and abundance want to be around. Because just like people, money has energy. It doesn't stay where it's mistreated, doubted, or feared. It stays where it's respected, trusted, and given purpose. So if you've ever wondered why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, it's because they become magnetic to wealth. 1. The truth about magnetic people. You've seen them, those people who seem to glow. They walk into a room, and opportunities gravitate toward them. They don't have to boast. They don't have to beg. Their energy says, I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm capable. That's what magnetism is. Energy alignment. They're not chasing outcomes. They're embodying them. And here's the key. Wealth doesn't come to people who need it most. It comes to those who are energetically ready for it. Money flows to stability. It flows to peace. It flows to clarity. If your energy is frantic, doubtful, or desperate, you repel it. But if your energy radiates trust, purpose, and readiness, money finds you. 2. The law of resonance. Every person, thought, and emotion vibrates at a frequency. When your vibration matches the frequency of wealth, you become magnetic. You don't have to try to attract money. You simply align with it. The law of resonance says, you don't get what you want. You get what you are. So, instead of asking, how do I get money? Ask, who must I become to attract it effortlessly? When you become the person who operates with discipline, gratitude, and peace, you've already tuned to the wealth frequency. And then, by law, wealth must respond. 3. The energy of self-worth. Your level of wealth will never rise higher than your level of self-worth. You can grind, hustle, network, but if deep down you feel unworthy, you'll subconsciously push money away because your subconscious protects your identity. If it believes you're not the type to be rich, it will create resistance every time you get close. That's why many people make money, then lose it quickly. Their mindset wasn't wired to keep what they created. To attract and retain wealth, you must heal the part of you that feels unworthy of it. Start affirming, I am worthy of wealth that flows with ease. I create value and I deserve to receive value. Money is safe with me because I use it with wisdom and purpose. The moment you believe that fully, your frequency changes and wealth responds instantly. 4. Emotional stability, the core of magnetism. If there's one thing that instantly makes or breaks your magnetism, it's emotional stability. Money hates chaos. Wealth avoids emotional turbulence. When you're constantly anxious, angry, or reactive, your energy becomes unstable. And so, do your finances. But when you learn to master your emotions, to remain calm in stress, grateful in lack, and humble in gain, you become magnetic. That inner calm sends out a signal. I can handle more. And life always rewards people who can handle more. The more peaceful your energy, the more power you attract. 5. The magnetic cycle. Magnetic wealth works in a cycle of energy. Belief. You believe wealth is natural. Emotion. You feel good about money, peaceful, not pressured. Action. You act with confidence and clarity. Attraction. Opportunities respond to your new energy. Gratitude. You receive with joy, not guilt, and the cycle repeats. Most people break this cycle by skipping belief and emotion. They work hard, but from scarcity, so they push away what they're trying to attract. You can't receive in a state of resistance. You can only receive in a state of allowance. 6. The vibration of gratitude. Nothing attracts wealth faster than genuine gratitude. When you feel grateful for what you already have, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. And in that frequency, you become magnetic. Gratitude says, I already have enough, but I'm open to more. That openness allows life to give you more, because you've proven you can appreciate what's already here. Try this daily ritual. Every morning, write down 3 things that make you feel abundant, no matter how small. A meal, a peaceful night, a conversation, a new idea. You'll notice your energy rising, and as your energy rises, so will your results. 7. The power of intentional presence. Wealth flows to focus, and focus requires presence. When you're scattered, thinking about tomorrow's problems or yesterday's mistakes, your energy is divided. But when you're fully here, fully focused, fully present, you become a magnet for synchronicity. The right people, ideas, and opportunities find you because your energy is anchored. So when you work with your full heart. When you rest with your full peace. Presence amplifies power. Half-hearted energy creates half-hearted results. But full presence? That's magnetism. 8. The mirror principle. Money mirrors your mindset. If you feel safe, it flows. If you feel anxious, it hides. If you feel undeserving, it leaves. That means wealth is not an external chase. It's an internal calibration. Your finances are simply a reflection of your frequency. Shift your inner state, and your outer world must adjust. So instead of obsessing over how to make more, Start asking, what version of me would money feel safe around? That question changes everything. 9. The silent repellers of wealth. There are 3 hidden forces that quietly repel money. Guilt. Feeling bad for wanting more keeps abundance at arm's length. Fear. Worrying about losing money creates energy that guarantees loss. Comparison. Measuring your progress against others lowers your frequency. Replace guilt with gratitude. Replace fear with faith. Replace comparison with focus. And you'll notice the shift. Life will start meeting you at your new energy level. 10. The energetic look of a wealth magnet. Picture someone who truly embodies abundance. They walk with grounded confidence. Their voice is calm, not rushed. They make decisions quickly but calmly. They don't brag. They radiate certainty. That's the energy you're cultivating. Magnetic wealth isn't about showing off. It's about showing up. It's not loud. It's not forced. It's quiet power. It's inner security. It's the energy that says, I'm not chasing. I'm choosing. 11. The connection between purpose and prosperity. Purpose amplifies magnetism. Money loves purpose because purpose gives money meaning. When your goals are tied to service, growth, and impact, not just survival, the universe conspires to support you. If your only goal is to get rich, your energy feels hollow. But when your intention is to grow, build, and uplift, abundance flows effortlessly. Ask yourself, what is the higher reason behind my desire for wealth? That clarity creates momentum. 12. The wealth magnet formula. Here's the formula you can live by daily. Belief plus emotion plus presence plus purpose equals magnetic wealth. Belief anchors your identity. Emotion fuels your frequency. Presence attracts synchronicity. Purpose sustains a flow. Get these 4 in harmony, and you'll never have to chase success again. It'll find you. 13. Daily magnetic practices. Morning energy tune-up. Before you touch your phone, place a hand on your heart and say, I am magnetic to wealth, peace, and divine opportunities. Feel that energy radiate outward. Evening reflection. Ask yourself, did I move today with faith or fear? If fear, forgive yourself. If faith, celebrate it. Act from wholeness. Don't make decisions from desperation. Make them from abundance, from the energy of, I already have enough. Give freely, receive freely. Be generous, but not self-destructive. Give with intention. Receive with openness. 14. The calm of magnetism. When you finally become magnetic, you'll notice a new calm take over your life. You'll stop needing to prove your worth. You'll stop overworking to impress others. You'll realize that real power is quiet, and real abundance doesn't shout, it flows. Because when your inner world vibrates peace, your outer world reflects prosperity. 15. Final reflection. You don't attract what you chase. You attract what you embody. When you embody peace, purpose, and power, wealth, opportunity, and success can't help but orbit you. You don't have to force it. You just have to become the person it naturally belongs to. Because the most magnetic people don't get rich. They grow into the version of themselves that wealth recognizes. And once you do that, money doesn't just flow to you. It flows through you, multiplying, expanding, transforming everything and everyone it touches. Chapter 8. The flow of value. How to turn your skills into gold. You can't get rich by chasing money. You get rich by multiplying value. Money doesn't follow effort. It follows impact. It doesn't flow to the busiest people. It flows to the people creating the most value per second. That's the essence of wealth in the modern world. You get paid in direct proportion to the problems you solve and the value you create for others. So if you want to increase your income, stop asking, how can I make more money? Start asking, how can I create more value and let the world know it exists? That's how every fortune begins. 1. Value is the real currency. Money is not the goal, it's the measurement. The goal is impact. The scoreboard is money. Every dollar that flows into your life represents value that flowed out from you through your time, creativity, or skill. So if you want to double your income, double your impact, not your hours, your value per hour. This is a formula. Wealth equals value times visibility times leverage. Value. How much transformation? or benefit you bring. Visibility. How many people know about it? Leverage. How easily it scales beyond your direct effort. Master these three, and you'll never worry about money again. 2. The skill that pays forever. The most valuable people in any economy are problem solvers. They don't wait for opportunities. They create them by finding pain points and removing them. When you become the person who can turn confusion into clarity or frustration into ease, you become indispensable. Every business, every system, every person has problems, and whoever solves them best earns the most. So the question becomes, what problems do I love solving, and how deeply can I solve them? Because passion adds fire, but skill adds gold. 3. Identify your value zones. There are 3 value zones to know. The struggle zone. You're doing what everyone else can do. You compete on price. The skill zone. You're good at what you do. You compete on quality. The genius zone. You're operating in your natural brilliance. You compete on impact. Your goal is to move to zone 3, where your work feels effortless, yet the world sees it as priceless. That's where real wealth starts flowing. Ask yourself, what comes easy to me but feels hard for others? Where do people keep thanking me for something I barely try to do? That's your genius zone, and that's the seed of your gold. 4. The value ladder. Wealth multiplies when you climb the value ladder. At the bottom, you trade time for money. At the top, you trade solution for scale. Let's visualize it. Level type of work example: leverage 1 labor technician, assistant low 2 skill designer, coder, specialist medium 3 strategy consultant, manager high 4 system entrepreneur, investor infinite. The key is to move from doing the work to designing the system that does the work. That's where time stops being your limit. 5. The invisible value multiplier, communication. The world doesn't reward the best creators. It rewards the best communicators. If people don't understand your value, they can't pay for it. You must learn to express what you do in a way that makes others feel the benefit. Because logic informs, but emotion sells. When you speak about your work, don't say, I build websites. Say, I help brands look credible, trusted, and ready to grow online. That one shift, from task to transformation, multiplies perceived value. 6. The modern gold rush, digital leverage. In today's world, leverage is digital. You can serve thousands without leaving your chair through content automation and systems. That means your knowledge, skills, and creativity are limitless assets. Once captured digitally, they can work for you 24/7. Here's how wealth now scales. Create once, deliver infinitely. Automate once, benefit forever. Build once, get paid repeatedly. That's why content creators, online educators, and digital entrepreneurs are the new millionaires. They've learned how to turn their value into reusable systems. If you can package your value digitally, you'll never be broke again. 7. The flow principle. Wealth follows flow, not force. When you force things, they resist. When you flow, they multiply. Flow happens when 3 things align. You love what you do. You're great at it. It helps others meaningfully. That's a state of natural productivity, where time disappears, effort feels light, and everything clicks. Your wealth zone lies inside that flow state. The more time you spend there, the faster you rise. 8. Turning passion into profit. Passion alone doesn't pay, but packaged passion does. Here's how to do it. Find your fire. What would you do even if no one paid you? Find the pain. Who needs this? And what problem are they trying to solve? Find the proof. How can you show results quickly? Find the platform. Where can you reach them? YouTube, courses, services, etc. When passion meets pain, profit is born. Because people don't pay for passion. They pay for relief, transformation, and clarity. 9. The law of exchange. Money flows when there's exchange. If you hoard knowledge, opportunities shrink. But when you circulate value, ideas, solutions, guidance, wealth returns multiplied. Because giving value opens energetic channels for receiving. That's why every great business secretly runs on generosity. They give value first, freely, consistently. And when the world feels the energy of that giving, it gives back tenfold. So never be afraid to over-deliver. It's not a loss. It's a setup for multiplication. 10. The compounding effect of skill mastery. One of the greatest wealth secrets is this. Small skill improvements compound faster than money ever could. If you improve your main skill by just 1% every day, in a year, you'll be 37x better. That's exponential. That's how normal people become industry leaders. So never underestimate daily improvement. It may feel invisible at first, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency compounds faster than talent. 11. How the world reward perception. People don't pay based on effort. They pay based on perception of value. You could be the most skilled, but if your brand, presentation, or confidence is low, your value appears small. Meanwhile, someone with half your skill but 10x your confidence will earn more. So stop hiding your brilliance behind modesty or fear. Stand tall in your craft. Package it beautifully. Communicate it powerfully, because the world can only reward what it can see. 12. From scarcity to service. Scarcity says, I must take. Service says, I must give. Scarcity chases money. Service attracts it. When you shift from how do I get to how do I help, your energy transforms and people feel it, because service creates trust and trust creates transactions. The most successful people aren't money hungry. They're service obsessed. They understand that the more lives they touch, the more wealth they build. 13. Monetize it without selling your soul. It's okay to earn. It's okay to charge. Because when you value your work, you teach others to value it too. Money isn't dirty, it's divine energy. When earned through integrity and service, it becomes a tool for impact. So stop feeling guilty for desiring more. Your abundance uplifts others. Your success inspires others. Your growth makes you a vessel for greater giving. You can be spiritual and successful, kind and rich, humble and powerful. The world needs more of that combination. 14. The ecosystem of value. Every thriving person builds an ecosystem, not just a product. They don't rely on one stream. They build interconnected systems that feed each other. Content attracts audience. Skills provide solutions. Systems automate delivery. Community creates loyalty. When your ecosystem runs smoothly, money becomes a byproduct of harmony. You no longer make money. It flows naturally through the system you built. 15. Final reflection. You don't create wealth by demanding it. You create wealth by deserving it. Through value, service, and mastery. Every skill you've ever learned, every struggle you've overcome, every insight you've gained can become gold if you package it right. The goal is not to work harder. It's to think clearer, to position smarter, to give deeper. Because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't flow to those who want it most. It flows to those who deserve it most, through the value they bring to humanity. So stop chasing coins. Start creating impact, and watch as a flow of value turns everything you touch into gold. Chapter 9. The Circle of Momentum. How to Build Unstoppable Progress. Momentum. It's one of life's most misunderstood forces, invisible yet undeniable. You can't see it, but when you have it, the world feels like it's leaning in your favor. Doors open faster. Ideas click. Confidence compounds. Momentum is the bridge between dreaming and dominating. It's the quiet hum beneath every high-performer success story, that rhythm of consistent forward motion that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. But here's the secret most people never learn. You don't find momentum. You build it. You build it through movement, through rhythm, through 1,000 small wins stacked on top of each other until motion becomes natural and unstoppable. 1. The physics of progress. Momentum in physics is simple. An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by resistance. In life, the rule's the same. Once you start moving toward a dream, a goal, a new standard, every step fuels the next. But if you stop too long, hesitation creeps in. Doubt piles up. Resistance grows. That's why momentum is so fragile at the beginning. Starting feels like pushing a boulder uphill. But once it's rolling, your job isn't to push harder. It's to keep the rhythm. Progress doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to the most consistent. And consistency doesn't come from motivation. It comes from motion, because action creates energy, not the other way around. So when you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway, because motion is a cure for hesitation. 2. The first step principle. The hardest part of anything worthwhile is the first step. That's where the weight of uncertainty sits the heaviest. But here's the truth. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need enough courage for the next step. When you move, even slightly, clarity appears. Action clears confusion. Movement reveals direction. Every great business, every transformation, every comeback story started with one uncomfortable, imperfect step forward. Momentum doesn't require perfection. It only requires progress. 3. Small wins, big energy. Momentum isn't built by massive victories. It's built by stacking small wins. You don't need a big break. You need a streak. Because progress loves patterns. Start small. Send the email. Finish the workout. Record the video. Make the call. Each small act says to your brain, we're doing this. And your brain responds with energy, motivation, and focus. Success doesn't come from intensity. It comes from identity. When you start seeing yourself as someone who moves, momentum becomes your natural state. 4. The confidence loop. Confidence is not built by thinking. It's built by doing. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-belief strengthens. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be reliable to yourself. The formula is simple. Action, evidence, confidence, more action. That's the confidence loop. Every loop creates momentum. And every time you break the loop, through procrastination or fear, momentum fades. So protect your loops. Even small wins count. Even quiet progress matters. The goal is not to impress anyone. It's to become unstoppable in your own eyes. 5. The power of compounding effort. Momentum compounds faster than motivation. When you stay consistent long enough, small results begin to stack into something massive. It's like interest, invisible at first, then suddenly exponential. You'll notice the early stages feel like nothing's changing. But then, without warning, progress becomes visible, and people call it luck. But luck is just momentum seen from the outside. It's what the world calls magic when they didn't witness the grind. Keep building when no one's watching, because the day momentum kicks in, everyone will. 6. The energy of direction. Momentum without direction is chaos. You can run fast, but if you're running in circles, you're just getting tired. To sustain progress, you must align your energy, not just spend it. Every action should point to a clear destination. That's how you turn busyness into progress. Ask yourself daily, is what I'm doing moving me closer to who I want to be? If the answer is no, stop, redirect, recalibrate, because momentum built in the wrong direction still takes you somewhere, just not where you wanted to go. 7. The resistance trap. Every time you decide to rise, resistance appears. Fear, distraction, fatigue, it's all part of the test. But resistance isn't your enemy. It's proof that you're expanding. If you never feel resistance, you're probably not growing. When you face it, lean in, because every time you conquer resistance, your comfort zone expands, and your capacity for momentum grows with it. Winners don't wait for resistance to disappear. They learn to move through it, calmly, consistently, relentlessly. That's how you turn pain into propulsion. 8. The rhythm of rest. True momentum includes recovery. You can't sprint forever. Rest isn't a reward. It's a requirement. Think of momentum like waves. They rise, they crash, they rebuild. You need pauses between pushes. When you rest intentionally, you don't lose speed. You preserve power. So plan your recharge the same way you plan your hustle. Momentum dies not from fatigue, but from burnout disguised as ambition. Remember, the calm mind sustains longer than the restless one. 9. The momentum circle. Momentum is not a straight line. It's a circle. It feeds itself when you design your life around continuous renewal. Here's how the circle works. Action creates movement. Movement creates confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results inspire more action. The loop never ends. It just gets stronger, faster, and smoother. If you ever lose momentum, don't panic. Just re-enter the circle. Start small, rebuild rhythm, and watch the energy return. Momentum doesn't die. It simply waits for your reactivation. 10. Building your daily momentum engine. Here's a blueprint for creating daily unstoppable energy. Start your day with clarity. Know your 3 must-dos. Create early wins. Stack momentum before noon. Guard your energy. Avoid distractions that drain flow. Track progress. Celebrate completion, not perfection. End with gratitude. Anchor the feeling of achievement. Follow this rhythm, and momentum will no longer depend on motivation. It will become muscle memory. 11. Protecting momentum from the world. The moment you start rising, distractions will multiply. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will envy you. Don't slow down to explain your speed. Not everyone is meant to understand your phase of acceleration. Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Momentum thrives in environments of clarity. It dies in noise, drama, and negativity. If you want to move fast, travel light. 12. When momentum feels missing. There will be days when everything slows down, when results stall, when your energy dips. That's okay. It's not failure, it's rhythm. Even nature moves in cycles. Seasons shift, tides rest, energy resets. The key is to not confuse stillness with stagnation. Sometimes the pause is the progress, preparing you for your next surge. Patience keeps momentum alive, while progress is rebuilding underneath. 13. The law of recommitment. Momentum is not a one-time push. It's a daily choice. Every morning, you either renew your commitment or break it. There's no middle ground. Even if yesterday failed, recommit. Even if last week was messy, recommit. Even if no one believes, recommit. Because momentum doesn't require flawless days. It just needs your next yes. 14. The breakthrough curve. There's always a phase before breakthrough where nothing seems to work. That's the test. Most people quit there, right before the curve bends upward. But those who persist, who keep moving even when it feels pointless, always catch the curve. That's how progress feels before it becomes visible. It's friction before flight. Keep going. The energy is building behind the scenes. 15. Final reflection. Becoming the force. When momentum becomes part of who you are, life stops feeling heavy. You stop overthinking. You stop second-guessing. You move with rhythm, confidence, and calm. And one day, you'll look back and realize, you didn't just build momentum, you became momentum. Because the truth is, progress isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. You are the force. You are the motion. You are the rhythm. So keep moving, even when it's hard, even when no one claps, even when it's quiet. Because the world always rewards those who keep going.
Chapter 10. The Wealth Magnet, Becoming the Person Money Can't Resist. There comes a point in every journey where strategy alone isn't enough. You've learned the techniques. You've done the work. You've built momentum. But now, the next level isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more. This is where wealth stops being something you chase and starts being something you attract. Because money, like all forms of energy, responds to who you are, not just what you do. And when you finally understand that, the entire game changes. 1. The law of resonance. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. This isn't poetic talk. It's energy in motion. If your dominant vibration is fear, you attract scarcity. If it's confidence and calm, you attract opportunities, trust, and wealth. That's why two people can live the same life, do the same work, and experience completely different outcomes. It's not luck, it's resonance. Wealth responds to self-image. If deep down, you see yourself as someone who struggles, no amount of hustle will override that signal. But when you shift your identity to that of someone who deserves abundance, who moves with peace, purpose, and clarity, the current of money begins to bend toward you. Because wealth doesn't chase insecurity. It's drawn to certainty. 2. The magnetic identity. Every wealthy person you admire radiates something intangible. It's not just confidence, it's alignment. They don't beg for opportunities. They pull them. How? Through identity. Your identity sets your energetic boundaries. You can't consistently outperform your self-image. So if you want to upgrade your results, you must upgrade your identity first. Ask yourself, who is the version of me that already lives in financial flow? What does that person think about daily? How do they spend their time? What do they believe about money, value, and purpose? Then start acting like that version now. Not when the money comes, but before. Because your external reality always follows your internal reality. 3. The wealth frequency. Money is emotion made visible. If you operate from stress, desperation, or fear, your energy sends mixed signals and opportunities hesitate. But if you operate from calm expectancy, from a sense of knowing that you're meant to prosper, the flow becomes natural. That's the wealth frequency. It's not arrogance. It's not blind positivity. It's grounded confidence. A quiet, steady energy that says, I'm open. I'm ready. I'm aligned. When you reach that vibration, money stops being elusive. It starts showing up in conversations, coincidences, and calls that feel perfectly timed. It's not magic, it's magnetism. 4. The currency of character. Wealth flows to integrity. Because trust is the ultimate currency. People can sense authenticity. They feel when you care, and they reward it with loyalty, opportunity, and respect. You can't fake alignment for long. You either are it or you're not. That's why the richest people on earth aren't just rich in money. They're rich in reputation. They play long games. They think legacy, not quick wins. Your name is your brand, and your character is its logo. Protect it like gold. When people trust your word, doors open automatically. 5. Gratitude. The wealth multiplier. Nothing expands faster than gratitude. When you focus on what you already have, you create emotional abundance, and abundance attracts abundance. It's the paradox most people miss. You don't become grateful because you're rich. You become rich because you're grateful. Start with small things: the air, your body, your growth, your peace. That emotional vibration tells the universe, I have enough, and I'm ready for more. And more always comes. Gratitude is not weakness. It's a wealth magnet in disguise. 6. Letting go of need. Need repels. Intention attracts. When you want money so badly that you start acting from fear or scarcity, you push it away energetically. Because the feeling of I don't have it keeps you in the vibration of lack. The secret? Detach from needing and start expecting. Move like it's already done. Work like the results are guaranteed. That's not delusion. That's alignment. Need screams insecurity. Expectation whispers power. 7. The wealth habits of energy masters. Every wealth magnet shares one truth. They manage their energy better than their time. Here's what that looks like. They protect mornings: no chaos, no clutter, no noise. They say no often because every no keeps energy for what matters. They focus deeply, finish fully, and rest intentionally. They surround themselves with aligned people, not the loudest, but the calmest. They understand that wealth is a mirror of how well they manage themselves. You can't attract clarity from chaos. You can't invite abundance while living in emotional noise. Calm energy is rich energy. 8. The inner economy. Before you can master money, you must master your inner economy. Your thoughts are your investments. Your emotions are your expenses. Your focus is your capital. Ask yourself daily, am I investing in thoughts that grow me, or spending on fears that drain me? Because inner bankruptcy, fear, anger, insecurity always leads to outer scarcity. But when your inner world is abundant, calm, creative, grateful, wealth naturally follows. You don't chase it, you channel it. 9. The circle of giving. Every time you give, whether it's time, wisdom, or money, you tell the universe, I have enough to share. That's a statement of abundance. It breaks the illusion of lack and aligns you with the natural circulation of prosperity. Because money is meant to move. Give with intention. Receive with gratitude. Repeat without guilt. That's the eternal loop of abundance. Give, receive, grow, flow. 10. Living as a wealth magnet. Being a wealth magnet isn't about ego, it's about elevation. You become someone who uplifts others just by existing. Your calm inspires trust. Your focus commands respect. Your generosity ignites gratitude. You don't hustle for validation anymore. You operate from vibration. You don't beg the world to see your worth. You embody it so completely that the world has no choice but to respond. You've become wealth in motion, not just in money, but in peace, purpose, and power. 11. The final shift. At the end of this journey, remember, you are not chasing money, you are aligning with it. You are not forcing outcomes, you are flowing into them. You are not waiting for the world to give, you are radiating the signal that calls it forth. Money is not your master, it's your mirror. It reflects who you are, what you believe, and how deeply you trust yourself. You are the source. You are the magnet. You are the flow. 12. Final call to action. Step into the flow. Now is your moment. No more waiting. No more wishing. No more someday. You have everything you need. The mindset, the momentum, the clarity, and the calling. All that's left is to decide. Decide that from this day forward, you are in flow. That money, peace, and purpose move toward you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Decide to wake up every day as a wealth magnet, calm, confident, creative, and ready. Because wealth isn't something you find, it's something you become. And you've already begun. So step forward, breathe deep, and let the current carry you. Because from this moment on, money flows to you effortlessly.